43, time to talk with the voice of the creative economy, Vincent Heeringa from Idealogue magazine, idealogue.co.nz. Good morning, Vincent.
Good morning, Remo.
Good morning. And this morning, talking about espionage and intrigue and sabotage. Let us know what's going on.
Every so often, a story breaks, and you just think, as a journalist, I wish that would happen to me, or I would like to have been part of that. The Australian Financial Review, which is a terrific newspaper across the ditch, has published a long investigation, months worth of work, revealing or accusing News Limited, in particular a division of News Limited called NDS, of really hacking into its competitors' smart cards. So these are the cards that go with set-top boxes and TVs, and pay TV, of hacking into their rivals' systems and publishing them or sharing them with hackers, or sharing the information with hackers, in an attempt to encourage piracy amongst its competitors, and therefore driving down the value of its competitors in the set-top box, in the cable TV and set-top box business.
That is extraordinary, isn't it?
It's an amazing story of dirty tricks, and it's based on the AFR journalist getting hold of, and hasn't revealed how, getting hold of a laptop from 2002 of the head of NDS, who was sacked, and his laptop disappeared, but this laptop, or the contents thereof, have reappeared, and it contains all the email correspondence around this period where there was a very intense fight against piracy. And NDS was set up as a division to provide security for the set-top box business. And it had customers. It had customers that were not just News Limited companies, but other companies. But within that NDS division was a secret division that was all about trying to stay one step ahead of the hackers and the pirates. But in the process, may well, according to the AFR, been involved in this Dirty Tricks campaign to release the contents of that hacking division to the pirates themselves.
Wow. And I guess those, do we know how successful they were, the pirates, in actually, disseminating this information out there and making it so that people could get free TV?
Yeah, the pirates were very successful. It's since settled down, in particular since NDS has become the dominant player in that security space. But they were very successful in spreading these pirated cards, and while you can't say that the pirate activity was responsible for the collapse of any particular company, what the AFR does in an absolutely exhaustive detail is provide all the circumstantial evidence that links the amount of pirate activity prior to an acquisition attempt by News Limited to get to buy some of its rival companies.
Wow!
And so the suspicion is, or the accusation is, that that the release of this kind of pirated information was done as an attempt to drive down the price of potential acquisition targets.
Okay. And
so it's very, very it's a big story, but the interesting thing is the News Limited have denied it, and will now enter, I suppose, a long period of a war of words. But it's been the police in both Australia and in the UK have picked up on this, and in many ways it's relitigating something that has been through the courts before in Europe, America, and in Australia. And so News Limited are saying, well, many of these accusations have been heard before and have been litigated, but for the first time, it's the contents of these emails that are being exposed.
Gosh, they really are bouncing from scandal to scandal as well, really, aren't they?
Well, there's no direct connection between this and the phone hacking scandal, except perhaps you could point to a very aggressive company culture that is pushed its employees to the brink of what you might call legal practice, or certainly good or ethical practice, and perhaps reveals a very aggressive boss in Rupert Murdoch himself.
Yeah. And finally, a feel-good story of the week from you.
Oh well, not every day that you get to see a little minor internet sensation, but my son's band 5 Mile Town posted their first single on YouTube, and overnight it just exploded. It went to 20,000 views in about 24 hours, and just shows the power of social media in getting something spread. You could pretty much put down the number of views down to one person who put it on Reddit. And it must have had a huge following, because overnight it started sort of at 300 when we retired for the night, and when we woke up in the morning it was at something like 16,000 views, and is up to 27,000 views now.
Interesting. So posted on Reddit.
And pretty much a result of a few people posting it on Reddit. It's just fun to watch, and the single's great. It is
great. Well. It is a great song, and in fact, I might give it a spin a little bit later on. But that's interesting, because I mean there are a lot of great songs out there on YouTube, but they don't all have 20,000 hits. So it's really interesting to sort of hear the method.
Well, the method is probably the same as many other people, but sometimes things stick, and you just never know. Someone in a den somewhere in Colorado may like your song and post it on to their many thousands of followers on Reddit or Tumblr or Pinterest or whoever. But it really, in this case, it was a Reddit user that gave it the boost.
Very cool. All right, Vincent, thank you very much.
Thanks very much.
Check out Vincent at idealog.co.nz.